according to my arbitrary but infallible rules that I have to.
Ah, what? Oh, I'm gonna get here. Oh, I'm gonna get here. What?
It's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Got this, Stacy.
Now, obviously, we already had a downgrade.
We're just dead body. Where's the entrance? Alright.
The spring jumping and running in midair, these animations may be simplified, but they're all still in there. And what's more, so is the personality. Despite all the downgrades, Sonic's character appeal and attitude are still coming through loud and clear. Almost everything that worked about the animation in the 16-bit original still works here, and considering the limitations, that's kind of amazing. And the sequel to this does even better. Still on the Master System, still 8-bit, and a lot of the animations from the previous game are basically unchanged aside from some color tweaks. But there are some noteworthy additions. For one, Sonic has a brand new version of the board animation when you leave him idle too long. And I don't think we would see this particular fidget come back later in the series, at least not on Sonic, but I kind of love it. It's like, are we gonna go? I can't do it by myself. Like, I can't do it. And now 8-bit Sonic can teeter on ledges, just like the Genesis version. And they've sort of made the rotated run cycles work, if only in these loops. Like, it's not a great game, as 2D Sonics go, but in terms of animation, this does quite a bit to close the gap between Sonic's 8 and 16-bit incarnations. Plus, hey, first sighting of Tails. That's fun. I mean, he's not playable yet, but he will be. Speaking of which...
Yeah!
Everything about Sonic 1's animation was already working. So, rather than reinventing the wheel, the Genesis sequels are all about building on that foundation and expanding scope. So, in addition to some subtle adjustments to his design, this iteration of Sonic also gets a bunch of new moves, and my favorite of these is easily the spin dash. This looks awesome. You've got that tilt emphasizing Sonic's direction, like a cartoon tire peeling out. You've got the dust billowing behind. It's just fantastic. And Sonic can also now run through these corkscrew things. They use the same animation when Sonic hits these springboards, and it looks so good. It's the first of these new animations to start suggesting more three-dimensional shape on this 2D character, which they're going to be doing more and more the further we go. Plus, Sonic's board fidget has been extended with new stages where he checks his watch and eventually flops down on the ground to chill while you finish whatever's so darned important. Also, and I love this, Sonic has not one, not two, but 3 ledge teetering animations. One for if you're facing the ledge, one for if you're facing away from the ledge, and a third for if you're really about to fall off that ledge. Superfluous? Yeah, probably, but come on, 3 animations for that. But perhaps even more noteworthy than all the new things Sonic can do is the fact that Sonic 2 introduces a second playable character. Now, Tails' animation set might be a bit less robust than Sonic's. This poor kid only gets 1 teeter animation to call his own, but give him a break, it's his first day and he's very small. But the important thing is that even though his moveset and handling are mostly the same as Sonic's, the aesthetic look of his locomotion is very different. Tails has this tottering, kid-like quality to his run that feels completely unlike Sonic's more confident stride. And when he gets bored standing there too long, he does a little yawn, because he's little and he's sleepy. It really drives home just how much personality Sonic Team is infusing these animations with, that these two characters can handle mostly the same and still look so different doing it. Sonic 2's animation is just a straight-up improvement in pretty much every single way. So how do you improve on that? Now this one's an interesting case, because it's sort of a side grade, developed by a different team than the folks behind Sonic 2. There are tons of neat little additions in here, animation-wise, but also a few notable losses. Let me show you what I mean. First off, Sonic's character sprite is back to the design he had in Sonic 1, which is fine because the differences between the two are nearly imperceptible, but it's not just the design change. We've also lost most of the great new animations that Sonic 2 added, and that part's a bummer. The corkscrew run is gone, those new board fidgets where he checks his watch and lays down are gone, though I guess Sonic does straight up bail on you if you make him wait for 3 minutes, which, alright, that's kind of funny. I'll call that one an even trade. And they did bring back the spin dash, but instead of that awesome tire spin animation, now he just does a spin in place. Boo! And one of the biggest losses is actually one of the most subtle. For some reason, this time, Sonic's jog, as he starts building speed, no longer has any vertical movement. There's no bounce to it at all. The difference is admittedly pretty hard to notice if you don't have them side by side, but I would argue it's actually a pretty big downgrade to the multi-phase progression of this run. That vertical jogging bounce really helps to sell the effort of building momentum before settling into that smoother glide of your top speed sprint, and the overall run just kind of feels slightly worse for the change. Fortunately, all of those losses are balanced out by a bunch of neat new additions, the most prominent of which, and easily my favorite, is the Super Peel Out. How do you take Sonic's already exaggerated feet blurring run and crank it up to look even faster? Well, you lean him even further forward, throw those arms back behind him Naruto style, and get those feet moving so fast that the blur turns into an abstract shape. I love this. It doesn't quite make up for the tragic loss of good spin dash, but boy, it does come close. And there are a bunch of other great additions too, like these little twirly jumps, and the overhead ramp, and this thing, and Tiny Sonic. Look at Tiny Sonic. I want a Tiny Sonic game. Plus now we've got Metal Sonic. And also Amy, displaying literally the only character trait she's going to be given for the next 25 years. So yeah, not what I would call an upgrade to Sonic 2's animation, but it's got some cool additions going for it. Also, it's worth noting, Christian Whitehead's excellent 2011 port of this game, which is probably the version most of you have played, gives you the option to bring back good spin dash. And for that, every one of you is now obligated to give him an enthusiastic high five if you happen to meet in person. Now let's jump back to the Master System one last time real quick. I don't want to spend too long on this because there's just not much more to be said, but it astounds me that they keep finding new ways to squeeze a little bit more out of this 8-bit hardware. Sonic is looking closer to his 16-bit counterpart than ever. And they've got the loop rotations working better, and the corkscrew things in there, sort of, and they added good spin dash. Plus, Tails is playable and looking astonishingly faithful to how he looked in Sonic 2. Hats off to all the folks behind these Master System and Game Gear titles because
Sonic. Movie plushies. Sonic versus Tails plushie. Sonic versus Metal Tails. Bond. Spin dash. Watch out, Knuckles!
welcome to the Giganet. Fidium Fiber has arrived. Say hello to better, faster fiber internet delivered right to your home. Fidium offers gig speeds, home Wi-Fi, plus a service experience that'll make you smile. Order Fidium Fiber today. Incredible gig speeds at awesome prices.
Anyways, the car parked in here. I was like, yeah, I'm out of here. Decided to go after some people. One way. This is my chance. It was this. What the heck? What? Oh. Would you? Anyways. Yardy. Oh no. We're trying in this spring trap form. In this spring body form, I have to be glitch trap. Oh, I know how the law was this person. How do I get down without hurting myself? Yardy, I'm coming for you. You don't learn my sword. Will die tonight. You will die, but I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see two things. I have another phantom. I know this is like the true phantom. Use phantom angle, but it's frozen. Let's see. Phantom Shaggy. But let's see who fat can win. Phantom Shaggy. Oh god, it's Phantom Shaggy. Oh god. It's real pretty. You're gonna be the first one I kill today. Which part should I come off? I mean, your legs are intact. I wouldn't say you would. Destroy me. Activated. Shing! Shing! Ah! He's transforming everybody. It's. Here's the active Phantom Foxy. Oh wait, oh. Look, always strolling in the acting family. Oh, Phantom